Hello everybody, good to see you again. Happy Wednesday. It's a beautiful day outside. I hope everyone's had a chance to get some fresh air, experience the sun a little bit. Like always, we'll just wait a little bit to get some people tuning in, get some viewers going. Today's workout is going to be focusing primarily on mobility and flexibility, so we'll be doing a lot more stretching and mobility type based movements today. On Monday and Tuesday, we did a lot of the resistance training, a lot of core, a lot of upper body, a lot of lower body. And so I thought it would be a good idea to take Wednesday as kind of that middle of the week kind of day to act as more of a recovery day for the bigger muscle groups, and then for us to focus on a little bit more of that stretching, a little bit more of that mobility component. Hey Lori, hey everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. Great to see everybody. So today's workout is going to be focusing on mobility and stretching today. I know I've mentioned that a few times now. I mentioned that in yesterday's class. I also mentioned it at the beginning of the week, but I just wanted to let everybody know that today's workout is going to be a little bit more around stretching and flexibility. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays and Fridays are when we have a little bit more of kind of like that boot camp, that circuit kind of training style class. Awesome. Great work, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Great to see everybody. Happy Wednesday. We'll get going shortly. Now is a good chance for you to kind of just clear the room of any distractions. If we need to grab a drink of water, we can grab a drink of water, maybe fill up your water glass and have it close by you. Awesome. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's a beautiful day outside. We'll get going shortly. I always just like to take the first couple moments, the first minute or two, just to get some viewers going, get some people tuning in. I hope we are feeling the effects of Mondays and Tuesdays workouts. I know I'm nice and sore. I've been hearing from a couple of you guys that you are too, so we're going to take today as more of a mobility and stretching workouts. Awesome. So before you start, if we just want to grab a drink of water, make sure we're hydrated. So let's all take a drink of water here together first. Awesome. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. It's Jordan here. This is workout number 8, I believe. And we've been getting in a lot of really good hard work lately. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of stretching, a little bit more mobility type based movements. And so we can either start in the standing position or a kneeling position. And we're going to start the way we've been starting the last couple days. We're going to take a few deep breaths in, a few deep breaths out. And as we inhale and exhale, we're going to look to the left, look to the right, get a little bit more mobility, a little bit more breathing in us, and then a little bit more kind of stretching through the neck there. Alrighty, so whether we're kneeling or standing, we're going to take a big breath in together, and then as we exhale, we're going to look to the left, and then we're going to do the same thing, big breath in, big breath out, and look to the right. Let's go 3 times per side. Alrighty, so everybody take a big inhale together, and big exhale. And as we exhale, we're just looking over our left shoulder, getting in a nice light stretch across the opposite side of the neck. Bring it into the center here, big breath in, and big breath out. Same thing, looking over the opposite shoulder here now, looking to the right, getting in a nice light stretch on the opposite side of the neck. Let's do 2 more per side here, big breath in everybody, and big breath out. Nice work, big breath in, and big breath out. Good job here, guys. We're going to do 1 more per side. Big breath in, and big breath out. Looking to the left, getting a nice light stretch on the opposite side of the neck here. Big breath in, and big breath out. Looking to the right. Nice work. And from here, we're going to get into a lunge position. So we're going to be in the kneeling position. So our leg is at 90 degrees. And we're going to start with the hip flexor stretch. We've been doing a lot of core, a lot of legs the last couple days, and so our hips might be getting a little tight. So we're going to have our ankle underneath our knee, and we're going to be in this 90 degrees. We're going to squeeze this glute, activate that glute. We're going to raise our hand nice and tall, and then we're going to lean forward into the stretch. So we're going to lean here, and we're going to be here for about 15 or 20 seconds. So making sure that we're feeling the stretch through the top of the hip there. Making sure we're breathing. I like to open up my hand here just to open up the upper body and shoulders. And again, we should be feeling the stretch right through the top of the hip here, holding for a few more seconds before we switch sides. Nice work, guys. Let's go ahead and switch sides there now. So now we raise the opposite leg up. Again, we're going to activate that glute. We're going to raise our hand, and we're going to lean forward, getting a nice light stretch through the top of the hip flexor there. Great job here, guys. It's nice for us to carve out a day in the middle of the week where we focus a little bit more on the stretching and mobility component so that we can get that full range of motion when we're doing the exercises a little bit more intense on Monday and Tuesday and Thursday and Friday. And let's come out of that one now. Nice work. And whether we're kneeling or standing, we're just going to do a cross-body shoulder tricep stretch. So just lifting our elbow up, bringing it across our body, getting a stretch through the shoulder into the tricep and the lat. We have performed this one in the past, but this is just a chance for us to hold these stretches a little bit longer, gaining a little bit more elasticity into the muscles here. Nice work. Let's switch sides here. Again, just driving that elbow across the body, getting a light stretch through the shoulders into the lats and tricep there, and making sure we're breathing. Nice deep breaths, breathing in and breathing out. Good. Let's bring that elbow up, moving into our tricep stretch here. So just lightly bringing the elbow across our head here, behind our head, and holding here for a few seconds. And let's switch to the other side here now. Again, taking in those deep breaths, filling in those lungs with oxygen, and exhale. Nice work. Let's get into a seated position here, guys. So we're in the seated position. We're going to bring the feet together, so touching the feet together, and we're just bringing them in nice and close to our hips here. And again, this is another one for the inner thighs. We want to make sure our chest is up tall and we're not rounding with the shoulders. Rather, we're sitting up tall. Awesome. And again, I just want to thank you so much for following along today. If you're just tuning in, we're just going through a little bit more of a stretching and mobility workout today to help us recover from Monday and Tuesday and anything we did on the weekend, and then to help us prepare and get stronger for Thursday and Friday. Let's go ahead now and just extend that leg. So one leg is going to extend on the floor. We're reaching for our toe now. We don't have to grab, but just reaching for the toe, feeling the stretch in the back of the leg now. We should be feeling this one in the hamstrings. Again, we did a lot of lower body on Monday, so with this one we should be feeling the stretch here in the back of the legs. Holding for a few more seconds before we switch sides here. Good, let's make that switch. Again, we have our opposite leg now in contact with the floor, and we're just hinging forward, feeling the stretch in the back of the hamstring. Making sure we're breathing here, guys. Awesome. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this leg and we're going to cross it over the opposite leg, and we're just going to get a little twist in through the midsection there. You'll feel the stretch running into the side of the hip, into the glute area. Here for a few more seconds. Good job. Let's make that switch. Awesome work here, guys. We're here for a few more seconds before we get into our tabletop position. This is a good workout to have our water with us. We can constantly be sipping our water throughout this workout. Nice work. Let's untangle out of there. We're going to get into our tabletop position here. So in our tabletop position, our hands are under our shoulders, knees are under the hips, and our feet are touching the floor there. We're going to do some cat to cow for about a minute. So with our cat cow, what we're going to do here is we're going to press our hands and knees through the floor. We're going to create an arch in the lower back, head and neck and chest comes up, and we're going to hold here for a few seconds or a few breaths. And then after that, once we're good here, nice and slow and controlled, we're going to reverse that motion, bringing our upper back nice and high to the ceiling, head and neck and forehead come down. And again, holding here for a few seconds or a few breaths. If you're following along with me, I'm just going to slowly transition back to the starting position. And I'm going to do 2 or 3 reps per side. I'm going to take a big breath in. And as I exhale, I'm going to let my core round my spine and get a nice stretch into those upper back muscles. Just going to do 1 or 2 more per side here. If you're following along, great job here, guys. We're just moving through some cat-cow, very popular yoga move here. Really good for our shoulders and upper back and lower back. Nice work. The next one we're going to do here is our Cobra to Child's Pose. So with our Cobra to Child's Pose, we're going to start in the high plank, in the tabletop position here. And actually, let's start in the high plank position, and then we're going to lower our feet and legs to the floor. Our hands should be under the shoulders, and then we're going to press through the floor, hands right underneath the shoulders, rising our chest to the ceiling, and you can have a slight gaze above. And so right now I feel a stretch through my abdominal wall and into my lower back. So holding here for a few seconds, and then we're going to shift our weight back into child's pose. So let's push our weight back. So we're pushing our weight back onto our heels. So trying to get yourself nice and flat to the floor here. Forehead can come down to the mat, relaxing on the floor. The ears are in line with your biceps. And try and get yourself as flat to the floor as you can. Again, we're pushing our weight back onto the heels. If you want to get a good stretch into the lats, you can inch your fingertips towards the front of the mat and get a good stretch into those upper back muscles. Let's hang out here for 10 more seconds, get some nice deep breaths. Nice work here, guys, and we're going to do 2 more sets of that move. So again, we're going to push our weight forward now, back into the Cobra position. So hands under the shoulders. It's always good to do 2 or 3 sets of these movements, just to get the full benefit from it. Allow ourselves to feel the stretch and open up a little bit more. Good job. Let's push that weight back into child's pose again. Pushing that weight back. Head and neck and forehead come down to the mat. Hanging down here for 5 more seconds. 1 or 2 more deep breaths. And great job here, guys. This next one we're going to do is going to be for the inner thighs. We can be standing or kneeling, and we're just going to drive the one leg out. So our knees right underneath our hip. We're going to have our leg out to the side. We're going to stand up nice and tall. If we're standing, we're just going to have a nice wide stance, and we're going to shift our body weight onto one side, getting a stretch through the inner thigh there. And then again, if we're kneeling, we're just into this position right here, still getting that stretch into that inner thigh here. Let's hold for 20 seconds before we switch sides. Again, this is a good workout to have that water close by with you. It's good when we stretch to hydrate the muscles. Here for a few more seconds before we switch. Alrighty, let's make that switch to the other side, rather on our feet or our knees. Stacking the weight onto the hip and knee. Legs extended, getting a stretch into the inner thigh there. Great job for following along, everybody. Again, happy Wednesday. Thanks so much for tuning in. And thanks so much for following me along throughout this journey. This is workout number 8 together. Tomorrow we will be back on lower body and core. And then Friday we'll do some upper body and core. And then I'm excited for next week because we're going to get into some equipment. A little bit more of the resistance and weight training. Great job here, guys. So with this next one, we're going to do some arm circles. This is a popular move I like to warm up with and cool down with. We're going to do them a little bit slower though. So we're going to have our palms up. Again, opening up the chest and shoulder. And just like in our warm up and cool down, except we're just going to slow down the movement a little bit more. Think about opening up that chest, feeling it in the shoulders. Great job. We can relax here now. And what we're going to do here now is we're going to raise the shoulders. So we're going to do a shoulder shrug, and then we're going to pull them back, and then we're going to lower them. Okay? We're going to do a set of 4 or 5 reps here. So again, if you're following along, we're going to lift the shoulders up. We're going to draw them back. Feel the shoulder blades coming together, and then lower. Nice work. So pull the shoulders up, draw them back, and lower. Nice work. Now let's try and match the breathing with the movement here. So we're going to breathe in as we draw the shoulders up, and then exhale as we draw them back and down. Let's try that together again. So breathing in and great work. Let's do a few more here together. Breathing in, shoulders come up, exhale, shoulders draw back and down. A few more here. Last one, breathing in and exhale, drawing the shoulders down. Nice work. This next one we're going to do is going to be a stretch for the biceps and into the forearms. We're just going to be in the tabletop position here, but we're just going to turn our palms out, so palms facing me, and we're just going to relax our hands onto the floor and maintaining a nice flat back. And you should feel a stretch running through the forearms and up into the bicep and into the shoulder here. And let's hold here for about 15 or 20 seconds. Not too often that we get to hold these stretches for a little longer, so it's nice that we can kind of spend 20 or 30 seconds holding these stretches, getting a little bit more mobility, a little bit more flexibility, and then hopefully that'll help us feel better performing our day-to-day tasks. It's also really good for us to stretch if we're finding we're stressed out or have any tension, especially in the neck or chest area, head and neck area as well. A few more seconds here, getting in some deep breaths. One more here. Nice work. Great job, guys. We're going to take to the mat for these next couple. So we're going to be lying down and we're going to do our T-spine rotation. So with our T-spine rotation, we're going to lie down on the floor, lying down on our back. We're going to have one leg flat on the floor, the other leg is going to be bent at 90 degrees. And then with our hand, we're going to fold our knee over our body, getting a stretch through the hip and into the glute and the lower back. So I'm just going to lie down here now with you guys. We want to make sure that the upper back and the shoulders are making contact with the mat, and that we're applying a little bit of pressure onto our leg here, just allowing us to feel that stretch a little bit more, running through the side of the hip, into the glute, into the lower back. Now let's hold here for about 15 or 20 seconds before we switch sides. And again, if you want to get a stretch through the neck and the upper body area, you can simply look over your shoulder and you'll get a nice light stretch into the opposite side of the neck. Nice work here, guys. Let's slowly unfold out of that one. So now that leg's flat on the floor, opposite knee comes up. We're gonna bend it over, fold it across our body. Again, lying down, making sure both shoulders are in contact with the mat. And then again, looking over that shoulder, getting a nice stretch through the opposite side of the neck. Nice job here, guys. Great work. We can come up out of that one. Great job for following along. This next one I want to take you through. It's going to target the same area. We're going to be in the push-up position here. We're going to drive our knee up so our leg is right underneath our chest, and then we're going to lower to the ground. It might be better if I show you front on. So I'm a little tight here, so this is going to look a little bit different with everyone, but we're in the push-up position. We're going to bring our knee up in front of us, and then we're just going to fold down slightly, and we should be getting a stretch into the back of the hip there. With everyone, this is going to look a little bit different. Some people can lean forward, sitting down, getting a little bit more of that intense stretch. For me, I feel it just in this kneeling position here. Again, here for about 15 or 20 seconds per side before we switch. Awesome. Nice work here, guys. Let's switch to the other side. So other leg's gonna come up. Good, and we're just folding forward now. Again, getting that stretch into the side of the hip, into the glute area there. And holding here for about 15 or 20 seconds. Great job here, guys. Again, if you're following along and tuning in, thank you so much for following along and tuning in. It's been so much fun for me going through these workouts with you guys, and I hope you're enjoying them. I have decided to take Wednesday as more of a stretching and mobility type class because we're working hard Monday and Tuesday and Thursday and Friday with more of the resistance training. So it's good for us to get in that recovery, that stretch. Nice work here, guys. We're going to stand up for these next couple. Okay, so for this next one, we're going to move into a quadricep stretch. So if you need to find a little bit of support, you can position yourself on something that'll allow you a little bit more support. We're just going to grab that ankle, and we're going to bring it behind our hip here, pushing through the hip, getting a stretch again into the top of the hip flexor there. This is our second time targeting this area. Standing up nice and tall. And if we don't feel it, you can just do a little trick by pushing through the hip a little bit more, and you should intensify the stretch there. Holding here for a few more seconds before we switch. And let's make that switch together. So opposite hand, opposite foot, just pulling back slightly until we feel the stretch through the hip there. And when it comes to stretching, think about a 4 or 5, maybe a 6 out of 10. We don't want to be in any kind of pain or discomfort. Rather, we want to feel a nice light stretch that feels good for us. If there's a little bit of pain or discomfort, we could be going into the stretch a little too much. We just want to ease off a little bit. Good job. This next one we're going to do here is going to be a hip hinge, and it's going to stretch out the hamstring, the back of the legs here. So what we're going to do here is we're in a standing position. We're going to drive the hips back, and our hands are just going to trail along our legs here. So again, we're just driving the hips back. Our hands are coming down, maintaining a neutral position in our head and neck area, and we're just going down until we feel a stretch. So for me, I feel a nice stretch back there right about here. So I'm going to pause here for a few moments, and then I'm going to stand back up, and then I'm going to do a few reps of this, but matching the breathing with the movement. So I'm going to take a big breath in, and a big breath out. And as I exhale, I'm pushing those hips back, getting a big stretch into the back of the legs here. Standing back up, big breath in, and big breath out. Driving those hips back as if I'm sitting down onto a chair. Getting that nice stretch in the back of the legs here. Let's do a few more here together, guys. Big breath in. And big breath out. Nice work. Again, just going as low as it feels comfortable for you. Let's do 2 more here together. Big breath in at the top. And big breath out. And as we exhale, we're going to push those hips back. Getting in a stretch into those hamstrings. One more here together. Big breath in. And big breath out. Nice work, guys. From here, we're going to drop that back knee into a lunge position, and we're going to do the world's greatest stretch. This is another one I believe we did a little bit before in the week, maybe you're on Monday or Tuesday. And so again, we're in the 90-degree position. We're going to place our palms right in line with our foot, and we're going to open up the chest, keeping the gaze to the top of the fingertip. But now we're holding here for a few seconds, so holding for 15 or 20 seconds per side. We should be feeling this in two areas. We're getting a good stretch into the inner thigh here, and then a good stretch into those upper back muscles. Here for a few more seconds before we switch. Nice job. Let's slowly lower. Again, opening up that other side, legs bent at 90 degrees. We're going to place our palms in line with our foot, and then opening up that opposite side, opening up the chest, the shoulders, keeping our gaze to the top of the fingertip, remembering to breathe as we hold here for 15 or 20 seconds. Keep it up, everybody. And relax. Great job. This next one I wanted to take you through is going to be for the chest and the shoulders, and so we just need some space on the wall. We're just going to position our palm on the wall, so if you want to find that quickly, and I can guide you through that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to position our palm flat on the wall, roughly at shoulder height, and we're just going to turn away slightly, feeling a stretch through the chest and neck and shoulder area. And we're here for about 15 or 20 seconds again. Again, our hand is roughly at shoulder height, maybe a little bit lower, palms flat on the wall, and we're turning away, opening up the chest and shoulder. And let's switch to the other side now. Palms on the wall, slightly turning away, getting in that stretch through the neck, chest, shoulders. Here for 15 seconds. Last 5, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Great job, guys. We're going to meet in the middle down here again, and we're going to go through our shoulder and tricep stretch again, because that's a big one that we hit a lot during the week, and so I think it's important to review a few of these again. So again, just bringing that shoulder across our body, getting a nice light stretch into the shoulder there, holding here for a few more seconds before we switch sides. And then we'll go through a little bit more loosening up the shoulders, and then some deep breaths. And then that'll be our workout for today. Thank you so much for tuning in again. It's always a pleasure going through this movement with you guys. Let's switch sides here. And another thing I just wanted to mention is that we've been incorporating stretch classes as well. So on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. we're going live and we're doing stretching. So stay tuned for that. Let's move into our overhead tricep stretch again. Started class with this. We're going to finish here. Great job, guys. Let's switch sides. Again, it's important for us to just open up the chest, open up the shoulders. Let's move back into the bicep stretch. So in the tabletop position, just turning those palms out, pressing them into the floor, getting a stretch into the bicep and shoulder there. I hope everyone's been able to drink some water and stay hydrated today, and later on this afternoon as well. And try and enjoy that sunshine today. It's beautiful outside. And then I will see you guys tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, for a little bit more lower body, upper body, higher intensity exercises. Great job here, guys. Let's get back into that kneeling position. We're just going to repeat a couple here. It's always good to go through 2 or 3 sets. Hand comes up, targeting that hip flexor once more here, leaning forward. Great work here, guys. When we repeat flexibility movement more than once, it's just a chance for us to sink a little deeper into that stretch, gain a little bit more mobility there. It's also nice that we can hold for a little bit longer of time here. Let's switch to the other side. Hand comes up, pushing through the hip, getting a nice light stretch through the hip and into the rib cage. If we want, we can even do a slight lean into the lead leg. Holding here for a few more seconds. Good work. Awesome. Let's do 4 more deep breaths here together, guys. We're going to do 2 per side, looking left and looking right. So again, big breath in together, big inhale, and big exhale. And as we exhale, looking over the left shoulder, getting a nice light stretch into the opposite side of the neck there. Maybe we're lightly drawing that shoulder back. And meeting in the middle, big breath in, big breath out. Looking over the right shoulder, same thing. Think about a 4 or 5 out of 10. Nice light stretch here. 2 more, big breath in, big breath out. Nice work. And last one here, big breath in, and big breath out. And relax. Awesome. Again, thank you so much for following along, guys. That was about half an hour of stretching, flexibility, mobility type movements. Very important that we go through this, especially if you've been following along with the more intense training we've been doing here. So keep it up, everybody. Keep the comments coming. I love hearing from you guys. It's awesome that we're getting a few new members joining this group. So let your coworkers know. And yeah, we'll see you Monday to Friday at noon for our live fitness classes, and then keep an eye out for our stretching as well, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.